Are you an accountant or advisor who feels trapped, like you're running faster and faster and faster on that hamster wheel of compliance deadlines, but getting nowhere? Well, you're not imagining it. A recent industry report found that over 70% of solo practitioners feel consistently overworked and undervalued, which is why I do what I do. Sadly, though, you don't have a business model. It is a burnout model, and I call it a monster business. And what feeds this monster? Well, it's a very specific type of client. I call them vampire clients. They're the ones who question every line on your invoice, call you at all hours, and drain the life out of you and, more specifically, your team. And the worst part, you invited them in. For years, I was stuck on the same hamster wheel, feeding that same old monster. But what if I told you there was a better way to get off the wheel for good? What if you could fire your vampire clients by making your business a place they couldn't even enter? What if you could effectively clone yourself by working smarter and not harder? In this video, I'm going to show you a 3-step productization method to stop running a monster business and start building what we call a freedom practice. Okay, so what is this magic method? Well, as I said, it's called productization, and it is much simpler than you think. What happens is you stop being a custom for everyone shop and be a specialist with a signature solution. You stop selling your time and you start selling an outcome. This is how you clone your expertise and build a system that works for you. What I want you to do is become an archaeologist of your own business. Look back at your top 5 happiest clients. What exactly did you do for them? And don't just say, I helped them. I want you to get specific. Did you ask certain questions? Did you use a particular method? Did you follow specific steps? And then what we do is we line up all those success stories. And what shows up in every single one of those success stories, that's your gold. Maybe you always start by listening for 10 minutes, or you use the same 3-question process, or you always do something in a specific order. Turn your pattern into simple steps that anybody could follow. First, I do this. Then, I do that. Next, I always... And finally, well, this is what I do. You're finding the repeatable genius in what you already do. Next, what we do is we package that process and ensure it has predefined deliverables. Then, my favorite bit, you give it a compelling name. Maybe it's the 90-day cash flow overhaul or the e-commerce profitability launchpad. What you do is you define the exact steps, the exact deliverables, and the timeline. This becomes your first productized service. And remember, this isn't about having a process so that you can save time and be cheaper. It's about you being clearer. In the mind of a client, clarity is where the value is. Finally, you give it a predefined price. And remember, you're not billing by the hour anymore. That is the language of grind. You're charging for the transformation your service provides. You price the destination, not the journey. This is the key to breaking the time for money trap. You might be thinking, how does this get rid of the bad clients? This is the beautiful part. Your productized service actually acts as a vampire filter. You activate it by applying what we call the rule of 5 ones. Now, this isn't my rule of 5 ones. This is something I learned from my mentor, Taki Moore, back in 2016. And the 5 ones are 1, product. I call it a signature product. 1, ideal client persona. 1, traffic source that helps you get leads. 1, conversion mechanism to turn those leads into clients. And then you give it a year. You work the 5 ones for a full year. For example, my product, Leveraged, helps accountants move from compliance to advisory. My ideal person is, of course, accountants and bookkeepers. My traffic source is LinkedIn, which drives people to my email list. My conversion mechanism is my weekly webinar. Maybe you've come to one. And the 1 year, well, I've done a few more than that. So when you market your 1 signature service to 1 ideal client profile, suddenly the price shopping vampires, they are not interested anymore. They can't even see your value because they only want to buy on price. They want cheap. But your ideal client, the one who has the exact painful problem that you overcome with your product, they see you as the only logical choice. You've made yourself a specialist, and specialists command premium prices and respect. And it's so much easier. This is where it all comes together. When you stop trying to serve everyone, you start building a real asset and you finally make the leap from the monster business to the freedom practice. And this isn't a fantasy. I'm not making this stuff up. This is the direct result of a system. The productization method is the engine that powers your freedom. It's how you finally get paid for your expertise and not just your labor. Now, I totally get that this shift can feel a bit scary. It requires you to say no more than you say yes. It requires courage. But the reason you're so exhausted is because you're still thinking like a technician. This method that I'm sharing with you allows you to step into your true role as an advisor, and it allows you to become vital. You deliver incredible value that goes beyond the numbers. You make a real impact on your clients' businesses and their lives, and you build deep, unshakable trust. You have the agility to thrive in any market, and you build a lucrative business that gives you the freedom and life you truly deserve. Now, the first step is deciding you're done with the grind. And if you're ready to take that step, I've created a Productize ebook, a simple digital book that explains the productization process in more detail. So do go and download that. The link is below. I'm going to finish with something that is very important. You need to understand that you don't need to clone your body. You don't need more team. You just need to clone your best process. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.